Kwon Ji Yong, better known by his stage name G-Dragon, is a South Korean rapper, singer, songwriter, dancer, lyricist, producer, model, and fashion designer. At the age of 8 he was under contract at SM Entertainment, but he decided to change record labels. After 6 years as a trainee under the record label YG Entertainment, G-Dragon officially debuted as the leader and one of 2 rappers for the Korean group Big Bang. G-Dragon has been involved with writing, composing, and producing many of Big Bang's hit tracks, including Lies, Last Farewell, and Haru Haru. He released his debut solo album, Heartbreaker, which yielded the #1 single of the same name. The album went on to become one of the most successful albums of the year, garnering sales of over 200,000 copies and winning the Net Asian Music Awards for Album of the Year. Heartbreaker also sparked major controversies for the artist, including accusations of plagiarism. After almost a year of hiatus, G-Dragon and bandmate, T.O.P. collaborated to record and release the album GD and T.O.P. The album saw the release of 3 singles, Hi Hi, Oh Yeah, and Knockout, all of which have charted within the top 3 positions of the Gaon chart, with Hi Hi becoming a chart topper. In 2012, G-Dragon released his second solo album, One of a Kind, with hit singles One of a Kind, Crayon, and That 20. Recently in 2013, he released his second full album in 4 years, Coup d'etat. He is the only man selected as one of the 50 reasons why Seoul is the best city by CNN. On April 2013, G-Dragon released a new song, EI to the first GO. Through messaging app Line. G-Dragon became the second member of Big Bang to make a solo debut in Japan after his bandmate Dae Sung's solo concert tour in February. G-Dragon embarked on his first worldwide tour as a solo artist, which included a 4-dome tour in Japan. As of September 2013, he is promoting his album Coup d'etat. Life and career, 1988 to 2009, early life and debut with Big Bang. Born and raised in Seoul, South Korea, Kwon Ji Yong began his career at age 5 as part of the group Little Lula. After releasing a Christmas album, the group's contract was terminated by their record company, to which Kwon described as shock-ing. Although he vowed to his mother that he wouldn't do it, becoming a singer again, Kwon Ji Yong was scouted by SM Entertainment while on a ski trip with his family. He was a trainee under the record label for 5 years, specializing in dance before he left as he was unclear about what he wanted to do. In 3rd grade, Ji Young was introduced to the American rap group Wu-Tang Clan by a friend. Inspired by their music, he developed an interest in rapping and began taking classes. Under People Crew's tutelage, he participated in the release of the Korean hip-hop Flex album in 2001, becoming the youngest Korean rapper at just 13 years old. Although he wrote his own lyrics for the song, he admitted that his English was weak and the story behind the lyrics actually meant I'm young, but I'm the best. Kwon Ji Yong caught the interest of Sean of the hip-hop duo Genusian from YG Entertainment, who later recommended him to CEO Yang Yeon-suk. After signing a contract with the record label, Kwon Ji Yong spent the first year cleaning the studio for the other artists in the record label and fetching them water bottles during dance practice. He and another trainee Dong Young Bao originally planned to debut as the hip-hop duo GDYB, with him choosing the stage name of G-Dragon. After 6 years of training, Kwon made several featured appearances on other artists' albums and even released several singles with Dong Young Bao under the name GDYB. G-Dragon made his official debut as the leader of the group Big Bang in 2006, after 6 years of training under YG Entertainment, with Dong Youngbi and 3 other members. The formation of the group was documented on television, and though there were initially 6 members, 1 was dropped before the official debut. The group's debut was fairly successful, with their first single netting in sales of over 40,000 copies. It spawned several airplay singles, including La La La, We Belong Together, and Forever With You, which featured label-mate Park Bom. The album also included G-Dragon's first solo song, a cover of the American alternative rock group Maroon 5's single This Love. Following the release of the group's mini-album Always in 2007, G-Dragon began to involve himself more with the production of their albums. Always featured several songs composed by him, including the lead single Lies, which became the group's first #1 hit. Their following mini-albums followed its predecessor's footsteps. Hot Issue yielded Last Farewell, while Stand Up spawned Day by Day. Both singles, which were composed by him, were chart toppers. 2009, Heartbreaker. Aside from Big Bang, G-Dragon also made several solo appearances. After helping produce Taeyang's debut album, he recorded his own version of the album's lead single Only Look at Me, titled as the Only Look at Me Part 2 to the song. The single was released digitally. Along with Taeyang and T.O.P., G-Dragon was featured on singer Lexi's song Superfly for her album Rush. In May 2009, he collaborated with the Japanese boy band W-ins for their single, Rain is Fallin'/Hybrid Dream. After Taeyang released his solo effort, G-Dragon released his debut solo album Heartbreaker, featuring collaborations with several artists, including Teddy of 1TYM, Taeyang, Kush, CL of 2NE1, and Sandara Park of 2NE1. Initially scheduled to be released in April, the album was pushed back to August to coincide with his 21st birthday. The album marked a change in G-Dragon's appearances as he dyed his hair blonde to match its concept. Propelled by its lead single of the same name, an electronic pop song, the album sold over 200,000 copies and went on to win Album of the Year from the 2009 Net Asian Music Awards. The second single, Breathe, managed to chart within the top 20, while his other songs The Leaders, A Boy, Hello, and She's Gone went on to top various charts upon their release. Shortly after Heartbreaker's release, G-Dragon was accused of plagiarism by Sony Music when his tracks Heartbreaker and Butterfly were alleged to be similar to Flo Rida's Right Round and Oasis's She's Electric, respectively. However, EMI, the record label that distributed Right Round, said that they saw no similarities between these two songs. On March 6, 2010, YG Entertainment announced that they personally contacted Flo Rida's representatives requesting that he feature in G-Dragon's live album, Shine a Light, to which Flo Rida accepted. In support of his album, G-Dragon staged his first solo concert at the Olympic Park in December 2009. Entitled Shine a Light, the name of the concert was derived from the lyrics to his song A Boy. The concert subsequently sparked controversy following complaints of obscenity and suggestive content. The Korean Ministry of Health, Welfare and Family Affairs later asked the government prosecutors to investigate if G-Dragon or YG Entertainment violated laws on obscene performances in his concert. He was found innocent and was cleared of all charges on March 15, 2010. 2010-2011, GD and T.O.P. In November 2010, YG Entertainment announced the collaboration album from G-Dragon and bandmate T.O.P. preceding the release of the album. The duo held a worldwide premiere showcase for their album at Times Square in Yeongdeungpo of Seoul, which was also broadcast live on YouTube. To promote their album, the duo released 3 singles, Hi Hi, Oh Yeah, and Knockout. All 3 singles preceded the release of the album. The singles attained commercial successes. Hi Hi was a showtopper, while Oh Yeah, and Knockout, both peaked at number 2 and number 3 respectively. The album was released on Christmas Eve, and debuted at number 1 on the Gaon chart with pre-orders of 200,000 copies, eventually topping 130,000 copies sold. With a collaboration with Park Myung-soo, they created a duo called GG for the Infinite Challenge Seoul Highway Song Festival 2011. They released their song Fired Up, E-Degree-EOA featuring Park Bon from 2NE1 on June 2, 2011, which became an all-kill on various Korean music charts. 2012, One of a Kind. It was announced in March 2012 that G-Dragon's solo comeback would be scheduled in the later half of the year, probably in August and sometime near his birthday. G-Dragon also featured in English artist Pixie Lott's upcoming Japanese album. Along with fellow member T.O.P., G-Dragon released the music video for his song One of a Kind from the album of the same name on August 24, 2012, on YouTube. The song later earned him 2 Best Hip-Hop/Rap Song of the Year awards from Korean Music Awards and Rhythm Awards. On September 1, G-Dragon released his first single at 20. The song topped music charts immediately after release and eventually achieved Perfect or Kill status. His mini-album One of a Kind was released on September 15 digitally and on September 18 physically. Upon release, the album was an immediate success in South Korea. All of the tracks occupied the top positions on all major music charts. The album also places first on the Billboard World Album Chart and entered the Billboard 200 chart at 161 for the week. As of the end of 2012, the album has sold over 200,000 copies, making it the highest-selling solo album in Korea since the release of Heartbreaker in 2009, also by G-Dragon. On November 30, 2012, he won as Best Male Solo Artist at the 14th MNET Asian Music Awards. On January 31, 2013, he also won Record of the Year award for One of a Kind at the 22nd Seoul Music Awards. 2013 A Euro Coup d'etat. In January 2013, he was the first Korean solo artist to embark 4-dome tour in Japan and the first solo world tour. As the beginning, the first run in Seoul starts on March 30, 2013. Japan shows started in April, and more cities were added on later dates as they were confirmed. This tour is known as G-Dragon 2013 First World Tour. In April 1, 2013, YGEX announced he will release a second solo album on August 14. YGEX further announced that Grammy Award-winning musician Missy Elliott will be featured on the album. Elliott previously announced in January 2013 via Twitter that she had contributed 2 tracks, both of which were produced by Teddy P. The album, titled Coup d'etat Copyright Tat, was released in 2 parts online, on September 2 and September 5, with the full album being released September 13 featuring 2 songs that will be album-only. Coup d'etat featured collaborations with a star-studded list of artists and producers which included Missy Elliott, Diplo, Bauer, Boys Noise, Sky Ferreira, Soraya Smo, Zion T, Lydia Paik, and label mate Jenny Kim. G-Dragon and Missy Elliott performed their song Illyria at the KCON 2013 in LA. Tracks from Coup d'etat topped major Korean music sites such as Melon, Mnet, Bugs, Naver, and Ali. A total of 7 tracks were placed from 1 to 7 on the Mnet charts upon release, while 6 tracks from Coup d'etat were also placed within the top 10 of the Gain Singles charts, with Who You being number 1. The album also topped the iTunes charts in several countries. The music video for Coup d'etat was released on YouTube on September 1, while the music video for Crooked was released shortly after, on September 4. On October 24, 2013, G-Dragon at 2013 SIA won the Style Icon Top 10. In the end, he won the 2013 Style Icon of the Year award. He is the first solo singer to win the award undivided. He also made a song for the Infinite Challenge music contest, held on October 17 in Imjinak. The song is titled Going to Try, and is a duet with comedian Jeong Don. On November 22, 2013, he won a total of 4 awards at the 15th MNET Asian Music Awards, including Best Male Solo Artist, Best Music Video for Coup d'etat, Best Dance Performance for Crooked, and the highest award, Artist of the Year. He's the first solo act to win the latter. On March 18, 2014, he worked with Skrillex, on the album Recess, on a song called Dirty Vibe. Image and artistry. The right kind of music is not made once the artist feels that music is work. When one is working on music, performing or just having fun, it directly influences the musica. The more I work, the more I feel like I'm learning and maturing at the same time. A Euro G-Dragon. Public image. Described as the most fashionable one in his group, G-Dragon's role in influencing fashion trends in South Korea have garnered him awards such as the Style Icon of 2008, and the award for Most Influential Men of 2008 sponsored by Arena magazine. Fashion icon Kang Dong-won has also acknowledged G-Dragon's influences, calling him a fashionista. While promoting Heartbreaker, His change in hairstyle from dyeing it to blonde gained popularity among his fans and became one of the top hairstyles of the year. Additionally, his constant sporting of triangular scarves became a trend among teenagers and were later nicknamed the Big Bang scarves. Despite his influences, G-Dragon has admitted to being self-conscious of his role as a musician, noting how he had changed many things including the tone of my voice because I was conscious about my job when I was in front of others. Aware that his public image is important when promoting his materials, G-Dragon notes that, what the public perceives of my physical appearance is my doing, so it's my fault if I give off the wrong intention. He also strongly opposes the idea of singers as products of the entertainment industry. On October 5, 2011, it was reported that G-Dragon was tested positive for marijuana. His urine test came back negative, but a weak positive for marijuana was detected from testing the content of his hair. The tests were done in early June and the results came back in August. As it was a first offense with a minuscule amount, it resulted in an indictment and he was not charged. He allegedly accepted an offered cigarette from a fan in Japan during a party back in May. He was the only one at the party who was later tipped off to Korean authorities. He confessed that he smoked the cigarette that was offered to him, but after realizing it was not a normal cigarette, he threw it away. The scandal caused a halt to his promotions, and YG Entertainment issued a statement that he was being given time to reflect on his mistake. Because he was not charged, he did not lose any endorsers and later made his first public appearance after the scandal at the 2011 MTV EMAs with his group Big Bang. Musical style, lyrics and composition. Inspired by music by the Wu-Tang Clan, G-Dragon participated in the annual Hip Hop Flex album in 2001 at the age of 12, establishing his career as an artist. During the early days of Big Bang's career, the band was marketed predominantly as a hip-hop group, though they went on to experiment with electronic music and setting it as the new music trend in Korea. From previous exposure to a range of genres with Big Bang, G-Dragon incorporated a mix of dance, hip-hop, and R&B songs into Heartbreaker. During the production for the collaboration album GD and T.O.P., G-Dragon opted for a more hip-hop sound, though he does acknowledge that R&B, acoustic, and electronic music heavily influenced it. Since becoming a solo artist, G-Dragon has maintained tight control over his music, stating that each feeling, in creating the music is different, using his emotions to direct the lyrical content and the composition of his songs. In attempts to distinguish himself from other artists and composer, G-Dragon admits to giving twist and turn at every corner and evoking a different story with each part of his music, acknowledging that although the chorus is the catchiest part of the song, he wants all the parts to his song to be remembered. Prior to his establishment as a solo artist, he was also involved with the production of Big Bang's albums, writing and composing majority of their songs. G-Dragon's contributions to his own music have garnered him praises and criticism alike. Preferring to pen lyrics that sound like an actual story, the Korea Times have praised him as a genius singer-songwriter, though the rapper has expressed being uncomfortable with the label. His effort to create melodies won him praises as one of the best composers of 2008, with many pop culture critics and industry representatives choosing him as the musician whose future they anticipate the most. His rap lyrics have also placed him fourth during a vote for most godlike rapper in Japan. The rapper also topped Forbes' listing of most hard-working idol, and made into its list Korea 2030 Power Leaders. Discography. Studio albums, Korean, Heartbreaker, Coup d'etat, Japanese, Coup d'etat unregistered trademark ETAT, plus One of a Kind and Heartbreaker, EP, One of a Kind, digital singles, Look Only at Me, Part 2, Miki Go, collaboration albums, GD and T.O.P. with T.O.P., CF promotional songs, G Market Party, live albums, Shine a Light, GDYB Paris photobook, filmography, music videos. Awards. Music chart wins, SBS's Inkagayo, Mnetsem. Countdown, KBS's Music Bank, references. External links, official website.